Thanks for stopping by, guys. My name is Mike. I'm going to be making a gear rundown video today, just kind of showing you some of the various guitars that I use for all of my different projects. Each guitar I use is different because each one I play in plays in a slightly bit of a different tuning. So I'm just going to go through those with you, kind of show you some of them, show you some of the options that I like as far as guitars, pickups, things like that there. So first we'll start off with the guitar I use for mitigate. So the guitar I use for mitigate is going to be just a Gibson Les Paul. Going to be the satin finish guitar. I really like the satin finish over the straight gloss nitro finish. Just kind of feels better all around. Everything is stock except for the pickups. The pickups I have changed. I did go ahead and I did put in a Dissonant Aggressor set by Lace Pickups. That is going to be Bill Kelleher's signature set from Mastodon. One thing that I will say, first off, I highly recommend Lace Pickups. Some of the most clear pickups that I've gotten to play with, and I love them all around. They've got a lot of punch to them. They sound good no matter what you're playing. The set itself goes for about $200 for the pickup, so you're gonna be spending a little bit more, than if you're going for like a hot rodded set from Seymour Duncan or even like a DiMarzio set. You're gonna be spending more than those, but I think it's well worth the money for these kind of pickups. And on to the next one here. This is going to be kind of a backup for mitigate and also a guitar that I use for Pale from Sunlight. Alright, so the next one I've got Epiphone Thunderhorse guitar. I don't know what to say. I love Explorer bodies. I think just Explorers in general look really clean, really cool, especially with like a silver burst or like black and gold hardware, things like that. I kind of like a little bit of a classy look there. Again, pretty much fully stock Grover tuners. Again, the only thing that I've changed in this guitar, I did put the Dissonant Aggressor set in this guitar as well, and the reasoning being, besides that I love the pickups so much, the only other reason why I did that was because this guitar serves as a backup for two of my bands. This serves as a backup for Mitigate and also Pale from Sunlight, and being as the tunings are so close together, I feel like it made it work. Pale from Sunlight, I play in D standard. Mitigate plays in C standard. So they're close enough to where I can justify using guitars of similar scale lengths in both of those. Next, I'm going to show you a couple extended range guitars that I have. So first up, I'm going to show you the Avenger 7 that I have from Jericho. Now, Jericho is kind of a relatively new guitar company. You may have seen them on Guitar World, advertise a little bit there. But they're a company based out of Texas, and they get their guitars made in South Korea. So, same country where you'll see a lot of Schecters, LTDs, PRSs, things like that. So you already know to expect a good build quality with these. And with Jericho, it's the same. Really great build quality. I love it with the through neck. Plays really well. The neck actually feels very, very nice. This guitar is all stock. This is how it came. It's got locking Grover tuners, which I believe is a new thing that Grover has made recently, just within maybe the past year or so. But I definitely love these locking tuners. These are great. In this guitar, we have a JB and a 59 in the neck. JB, I have used that in similar guitars, and I've even used them in baritone guitars before. So playing it, like a 28-inch scale guitar with a JB, we're talking about being in drop G. So I am definitely very familiar with the JB. The JB 7 is great as well. I think it's a great pickup. What I've found is that this guitar goes really well with an amp similar to like a 6505, something that has a little bit more of a treble tone to it. Not necessarily a Mesa. I tend to really like Mesa amps, but in my opinion, I believe this guitar goes a little too muddy with a Mesa or a similar sounding amp. So you definitely want to use an amp that's got a little bit more on the treble side with this guitar. But once you kind of lock that down, this guitar sounds phenomenal. I love it. Next guitar we've got, this is an Ibanez Iron Label. This is going to be an SIR 27 FD. Not entirely sure if they still make this guitar anymore. I've tried looking around on the internet at certain vendors, and I don't believe this guitar is made anymore. But this guitar is a phenomenal 7-string as well. Plays really nice. The neck feels great on it, and pretty much what you can expect from Ibanez. Typically, I'm not a fan of the S bodies, just because of how thin they are. I've always liked the RG bodies, but the S bodies never really been my style. I've never really dug them. But when you get this binding on the guitar, I just think it looks killer, and they did a great job with this guitar. This is my first time playing a guitar with DiMarzio guitar pickups in it, and going into it, I was honestly a little skeptical. They are PAF 7-string pickups, so I didn't really know what to expect going into it. Part of me kind of assumed that the guitar was going to lack some punch, wasn't going to be nearly as hot. That is certainly not the case. This guitar sounds great with those pickups. Still looking at potentially changing the DiMarzios out for a lace Death Bar 7-string pickup, but we'll see how that goes. We'll see if I actually get around to doing that. And so this guitar, this one I play in a recent death metal project that I've been writing for. Don't have an official name yet or anything like that. I've just been mostly writing music. I do have a song up on the channel, and you can listen to it there. It's called One Wrath, and that was written with this guitar. This guitar is tuned to A standard, and I mostly just picked A standard because I wanted to push myself a little bit as far as just writing in general. I didn't want to do a drop tuning. I wanted to kind of stick with the standard because I really like standard tunings. And I also forgot to mention the Jericho Avenger 7. I play that in Iron Callus. That guitar is tuned to drop G sharp is what I play on that guitar. So yeah, got one more here for you. This last guitar, a little bit of a special piece to me. I don't necessarily play it in any band. It's more of just a backup or also a guitar I just kind of keep. All right, so this would be the last guitar I have. This one is not made by any specific company. This guitar was actually made by a gentleman in a nearby town from where I live in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Found it on Craigslist a couple years ago. I was actually looking for an Explorer baritone. This is a 28-inch scale baritone guitar. So this typically acts as like a backup for Iron Callus, so I keep it in drop G sharp. But I was looking more so, I was just wanting to see kind of what was out there for Explorer baritones, because I know that Gibson has made a couple of them. They've since ceased production of that guitar. But ended up running into this one that a gentleman had made himself. And so it's going to be all mahogany. And then I also ended up throwing, I've got a JB in this guitar, along with a Jazz. So it has a very, very deep tone to it. But I love this guitar. This guitar is just an awesome piece of work, and it's very unique to me. And I kind of even want to show off. See the neck, you see the back there. It's just a very unique piece, and I love it. Well, there you go. Well, there you have it, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick gear rundown, kind of show you some of the different instruments that I use in my whole setup. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments if you have any regarding any of my guitars, any of the specs on those guitars. If you have any questions on those, feel free to ask. You can also find me on Ask FN. Ask any questions for me there. Thanks for watching, guys.